And you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
I'm John Feely of Feely's Clutch, and you are watching Reptiles Unplugged.
This is Will Rose from Royal Canadian Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Guys, it's KB Reptiles.
Team Helga.
Team Beard.
And you're watching
Reptiles Unplugged.
It's Justin from Jacob Luck Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Nick with Renowned Reptiles here, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
It's your boy Harry Wayne from Royal Canvas Exotics, and you're tuning into Reptiles Unplugged.
You're Triple B, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So here we are. We're a little late today. As it turns out, because Arizona never changes its time and the whole other world does, the time's changed on me, and I thought it was still at 7 for my time. As it turns out, it's at 6 my time now because we're back on the real West Coast time, I guess I'll call it. So sorry about that little delay here, but as always, I am Joel from Safe Friday Exotics and my co-host Adam here. I'll let him take the reins really quick.
What's up, everybody? Adam from BeachBumXotics. Happy you guys are with us again, and we've got a good show tonight. A repeat guest, but first time on Reptiles Unplugged, I believe.
Yeah, never been on Reptiles Unplugged. So,
yeah, so I'll turn it over to him and go ahead, Will. Introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are if they don't already.
What's up, guys? Will from Royal Canadian Reptiles. I don't know what else you want to know. Just me.
He's our brother from up north.
Right, yeah. You got to give us something there, all right?
Up in the frozen north here, you know?
Yeah.
Man. Happy to be on the show. We had done it. What was it called before it was Reptiles Unplugged?
We didn't have
a name. Yeah, it was just Adam and I.
We just kept bouncing channels and.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We would go back
Back
between
and
channels.
forth.
And what's crazy is you guys would all do it for some reason. So thank you for that. But yeah, we were bouncing between channels quite a bit, and we'd always have the same views. It didn't matter whose channel on. So that's a shout out to chat, I guess, really quick. But yeah, man, it was. It's a lot better having one channel. I feel like to have everything kind of consolidated down, and then we can like make playlists later and stuff like that. So we're pumped to have you back on for the official interview.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I brought along a familiar face.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hey.
What's going on, man?
We got to get. So who do you have there with you? Let everybody know.
This is Khalil from 514 Morphs, 514 Reptiles.
Wow. Reptiles, bro. This is a twofer here.
Who is that guy? Nah, just joking.
He was.
Oh man,
we were heading down.
We got double trouble
tonight.
shortly.
Right.
Yes.
Double trouble.
Yeah.
You guys are cruising out to Tinley this coming weekend then together? Are you guys driving or flying, or how does that work?
Driving.
Yeah. So do you pack all your animals in with you?
No, animals are already in the States.
Okay.
We had to do that just because of the paperwork and the CITES and all that stuff, so we shipped them down. My good buddy will bring them to the show for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to drive down with like the displays, the banner, all the promo stuff, all the T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. So we have to drive down, flying that stuff. Exorbitantly expensive, and well, apparently not now with this coronavirus. I mean, flights are dirt cheap. But
you could have probably just bought a couple extra seats and just put it in the seats.
Right?
Cheaper, dude.
Just take the whole plane.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Right? Yeah, that coronavirus, man. What a weird thing.
And flying it for $100 return. What?
Really?
How's that even so cheap? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I just checked today. $205 for a round trip from California to Chicago. So, after the live stream, I'm gonna call and reschedule my current one that I bought for like almost $400. Buy this one for cheaper, and then just use my other.
And then use it as a credit. Right,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
That's 100% what you should do right now. Yeah, man.
So.
Absolutely.
Dude,
the hotels didn't get cheaper.
Yeah, and that's kind of weird. You would kind of expect the hotels to come down a little bit, but yeah, it's interesting, man. I that coronavirus is having a pretty big impact. I mean, it's closing a lot of events. The Supercross race in Seattle, they're not holding anymore. So I know a lot of stuff's getting shut down by it. So
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was knock on wood. I was honestly nervous about Tinley, to be honest with you. It's a big crowd.
Yeah, I was kind of worried too to see what they were going to do, but I mean, and if you look at the facts and you look what's out there, I mean, while this is definitely, I mean, it's spreading like wildfire, but it's really not gonna. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think you just need to kind of be careful, and you're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Wash your hands, guys. Wash your hands, and then I heard that the more Corona you drink, actually has a counteractive effect on the virus itself. So consider that while you're there. So I don't know. Just that's not been proven by science, but that's what I heard.
Dude, the company, Corona, they were PO'd when the name came out, man, because sales did take a hit.
Right.
I was watching the news.
Constellation Brands stock dropped like 6%. It was like, why?
Right.
People still drinking the beer. It's like it's a Corona, and people just people are getting sick from drinking Corona beer. Yeah, if you drink 4, but
Right.
Kind of
Gosh, man. Yeah, what a weird thing. But anyways,
I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Tinley's always a great time. I've never been there and not had a good time, and then I've never been there and not seen something crazy that I've never seen before. So I think it'll be a ton of fun. I'm bummed I'm missing it, but I'll see you guys there in October, I believe.
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
October.
Yeah, October's fun.
And I already have my flight for October, so it looks like I'm going to that now too. So.
There you go, dude. You're already in.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, Will, some more questions around like getting your snakes there. So, how far in advance do you ship them to your buddy? Like a couple of weeks or?
They went last week.
Last week, gotcha. So
Okay.
they chill with him for a week, and then you go scoop him up and come out.
He's got a collection of his own. Doesn't live too far from Tinley, so he drive him to the show Saturday night or Sunday night. He'll bring them back to his place, and then we'll do a shipment back into Canada.
Into Canada after that. Gotcha.
Yeah. Giant pain in the ass, but I wanted to vend Tinley. It was kind of like a milestone for us. We wanted to get to the point where we had a table that we thought was good enough to be at Tinley.
Right.
And feel like this year is the year.
You made it, huh?
I don't know.
You made it.
Sweet.
Mama, we made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But good response so far. So I appreciate everyone who's like, calling us, saying we're gonna come by, we're gonna come see you, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's encouraging for sure.
It is, man. It's a really cool thing. I could definitely see that being a cool like a I don't know, point in the entire business as a whole. To be able to go there, vend, feel confident. Showing up with like competitive animals. Because we all know that the Tinley is like, dude, it's the show, man. That's where everybody shows up, brings all the hot stuff.
My buddies like that are not snake related. They're like, so what is this show like? I'm just like, guys, it's the Catalina wine mixer.
Dude, it is the Catalina wine mixer. It's the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
Man, I just watched that movie the other day, and I was just like, gosh, this was so brilliant. This whole movie was so brilliant. They did such a good job, dude. Such a good job. Yeah, I love that movie. Whew. Yeah, it came on Netflix, I think, or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this forever. But it is, man. It's a big deal, dude. It's cool. So that's, congratulations. That's cool.
Yeah, it used to be Daytona for years and years, and then kind of shifted over to Tinley and stuff like that. We'll see. They've been holding the crown for quite a while, so
they have.
We'll see how long it goes.
Daytona, when I was in Daytona was the show, followed by Tinley, and then Daytona seems to have tapered off. This year I'm going to go to Daytona. I really want to go. It's just one of those shows that I've never been to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's in Florida. Florida's pretty nice. So
When is it?
like August. Want to go?
Yeah, sure.
We'll go.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Daytona then.
August.
Right.
Hey, maybe I'll see you guys out there because I've always wanted to go to that one too.
Dude, me too, man. I think that would be a really cool show to go to. It's on the beach. Like, oh, what a bummer,
Right?
That just
Exactly.
sounds great.
With this, like, I'm not sure if they'll let it fly, but right now might be a good time to book all your flights for like the year.
I know.
Seriously,
I
just
wonder
buy 'em
how
all
long.
right now.
Yeah, how long are they priced
You know?
out? You think?
Like, book a flight to Florida, book a flight to Texas, book a flight like all over the place. Like spend like $400 and you fly to all these shows.
Right, round trip.
Yeah. Get around the world.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Just
yeah.
not Barcelona.
See, now we're on to something. All right, I'm glad we got this going, guys. We got some plans now.
Khalil's not allowed out of Canada.
What's this
Everybody
guy doing?
just saw-
You see that
just-
that cough and sneeze attack? What just happened, dude?
Yeah.
He's not allowed out.
Dude, sketchy.
Stop because this shit's horrible. They're gonna watch it at the border. It's not like yeah.
What the heck is going on
They're gonna
up
be
there?
like, "Hey, saw you sneeze on the live stream last night. You sir over to the side." You're like, "What the heck? They're watching me, man."
That's a great question, but yeah, I can come in. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there
man.
it is. Dale said third weekend of August is
Yeah,
Daytona.
third weekend. of August.
Third weekend of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that because I've been wanting to go to Florida again for a while. I like Florida.
I mean, it's right on the beach. You should do it in Miami. Daytona Beach.
I'm gonna be at a bachelor party that weekend, actually. So I will not be able to go.
Daytona Beach?
Mr. Cool Guy.
Yeah. I'll be in California if you guys want to go to California
Nah,
instead.
it's overrated.
Places like where like everyone probably is gonna be, just at the wrong times.
Right. Right.
Like you're gonna be like next weekend, be like, "Hey guys, I'm going to Chicago."
Guaranteed, dude. Funny you say that. I've been meaning to tell you guys I'm actually going to be in Chicago next weekend. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sweet. Can't wait to see your stories, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'll post, dude. I'll be active.
So, Will, I know you posted that video the other day with some of the snakes that you're bringing. Anything that didn't make the video that you want to highlight tonight, or maybe one of those in the video that's like your absolute favorite you want to show off again tonight?
I can't show it to you right now.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
They're not here. But
We can highlight it with words.
So there's the lesser Wookiee pinstripe female. She's like one of the coolest Wookiees that we hatched this year. There was a combo that like, so the Wookiee stuff this year. What we sort of did with it was when we originally got the male, the Lemon Blast Wookiee honestly doesn't look that great. He's kind of like just blah, like it's a Lemon Blast with a dark gene. They don't.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he
those
kind of like
genes
just
don't-
got washed out a little.
Yeah, they don't really complement each other very well.
Right.
But I wasn't really sure. I hadn't seen too many Wookiee combos at the time. So we sort of I was hesitant to put it into the big guns, I guess. I didn't bring it into any like visual puzzle females or clown females or anything like that. So we had some girls that were sort of, after we had made our breeding list, like, okay, what are we doing with these 5 or 6 girls? Let's use the Wookiee. And we put the Wookiee into like pastel leopard to phantom to a lesser to a bunch of just single gene, double gene codom girls, and it was probably the biggest surprise out of the year for the Wookiee. And like the stuff that came out, like I know I keep talking about it, but we're gonna go crazy with it this year because I really, really, really what it's done. The contrast that you're getting, the camera doesn't pick them up. I really want to show some people. That's one of the reasons I sent a few Wookiees down to show people what they actually look like in person.
Right.
Because they're really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, dude. The what was it? I think it was lesser pinstripe Wookiee. Was that? Am I right on that? Yeah. That's a real. Yeah, the flaming up the white up the sides of it, dude. That's a cool snake.
And that's a combo that I feel like really like shows the potential of what the Wookiee can do, because we've all seen lesser pinstripes. It's kind of like, they're cool. They're my favorite combo. Lesser combo, generally not. But lesser and pinstripe, generally it's not like the kingpin stuff is not my go-to type of combos. But when you added the Wookiee, it gave it this entirely different element. It gave it like this dark, crazy back and these like it almost looks like it's like a yellow belly, but there's no yellow belly in it. There's just it's like it's a yellow belly with flaming, but the flaming is pure white. It's super
Yeah,
cool.
it's like a super low white pied almost. How white that was on the edges of it, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it's just like it flames all down the belly.
Yeah, it looks
really
cool.
And there's the pastel phantom Wookiee that turned out amazing. It was just one of those snakes that was just in the egg. I was like, how's that even possible? What is this?
Right.
And
Contrast.
Shed. Yeah, I almost regret selling that, but I kept the phantom Wookiee with no pastel in it. I was gonna try and go dark route, and I'm pastel heavy up here, so there's no shortage to make another one if I need to.
Right. I was gonna say you got plenty of ingredients to make that back. So.
Yeah, I could add pastel like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, I was really impressed with it. Wookiee's kind of one of those genes that been watching it on the sly, and then surprisingly, that Wookiee Kingpin that you produced, I was like blown away because, like you, I mean, Kingpins have always just been like, oh well, that was cool for a pinstripe, like all right, you know, but it never really sold me. Where I was like, okay, I want to take that and put it into everything. And then with the Wookiee on top, though, I think it opens the door for a lot of potential, man. I think, there's a lot of different directions to take that sucker. So, be very cool.
Yeah. You know, I just separated them. We had the Wookiee bred with a Desert Ghost just today. So we're going into the Desert Ghost route. We have Wookiee going into Clown, and I've got a pastel puzzle female that's still unbred. I was waiting for a younger male to see if he could make it to size, but I don't think he's going to.
Right.
So we might just Wookiee it.
Yeah, just Wookiee it, man. Just Wookiee it.
Stay wook. Yeah.
Stay wook.
Hashtag just stay wook.
Yeah. The one of the things that I'm kind of doing is that I've held off on breeding this. So my breeder male is a Lemon Blast Wookiee, and I've held off a little bit on breeding him to too many girls with pastel, because I don't want to get into super pastel Wookiee. I made some. They're okay. They're not my favorite combo, and I'm trying to separate the pastel out of it. So this guy's going into some stuff that does not have any pastel present in the combo, but next year the Phantom Wookiee should be of size, and then he can start to go into a number of different things. For example, I didn't really want to breed my Wookiee Lemon Blast to a pastel puzzle and make super pastel Wookiee pin, like a super black. Just wasn't what I wanted to do. But I would have no problem with the Phantom Wookiee and making more, pastel Phantom Wookiee.
I agree.
Phantom Wookiee pastel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're getting to the point where we're just starting to be a little bit more selective about what we're putting together. It's not just get Wookiee in Desert Ghost, get Wookiee in Puzzle. It's like get Wookiee in there with the right combination of genes, and that's I think is the trick.
Yeah, definitely.
Pinstripe and Puzzle, unfortunately, is one of my least favorite puzzle combos that I've seen so far. Didn't really.
However, I agree with you, but Mojave in Puzzle as Paul knows, is ridiculous.
One of the best.
Now, what does a Mojave pin puzzle do? Do they fight?
Maybe.
And this is part of a new recessive project is finding combos that work and finding combos that don't. Part of any project, really. And just because a combo doesn't work right away, a lot of people give up on it. But it could be one gene away from being the next craziest thing you've ever seen,
Right.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that Pin Puzzle is going to do that, but I'm saying I haven't given up on Pin Puzzle just quite yet.
Oh, I haven't either. I have a Bamboo Lemon Blast puzzle over there because I'm hoping Bamboo is gonna do something with it. So
that's what I was wondering if they have been done with Bamboo yet. If Pinstripe and Bamboo have been put together with Puzzle yet.
I don't think so.
I don't think we've seen a visual yet, but
Okay.
the ingredients are out there. I have some ingredients, and I know RL and TJW have
Yeah.
ingredients to do it as well.
Yeah.
And their ingredients are much older than mine. So
Right.
I don't
yeah.
have any. I don't have any bamboo in puzzle. We have some phantom. So I have Lemon Blast Phantom het puzzle girls growing up, and some Mojaves, Blackhead Mojaves, stuff like that.
Right.
But I one of the ones I'm curious about, because Phantom and Mojave should react very similarly in the visual form, and I think that I don't know. I after seeing that Mojave puzzle that Joel ended up with, I was just like, whoa.
totally.
Okay.
She's great.
What else can we do?
Dude, she is
Yeah,
great, man. She's great. That
Yeah,
she's great because what she shows you can do, you know?
Yeah.
Like the base there is just like there's so much that can be played with now.
I had been preaching puzzle for the longest time, and I think even you sent me a picture of that snake when it hatched, and you're like, yo, okay, what's this? Yeah. It was like, okay.
That snake sold me on puzzles.
Dude, 100%.
Right?
The lesser that Miguel has was super, super pretty.
Very nice.
Yeah,
and
that one
that's-
was real nice too.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, dude, I was like, okay, the Bell Complex is working pretty good here when I saw the Mojave as well. So,
Yeah.
dude, I
I'm
think that's a
hoping-
good thing.
The Bell Complex in puzzle is very good.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good.
And I'm hoping Phantom, because it seems to produce like some darker saddles around the
man.
alien head. I'm hoping that in the puzzle, that's going to produce a pretty cool contrasted animal.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see. Are you this year? You think you might hit on something like that?
Not phantoms. No. Actually, in fact, no Bell Complex in puzzle this year at all.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I for a long time was always like, stay away from the Bell Complex. You can't
Right.
super it. You can't. You know?
Right, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's one of the
It is a dead end
I went towards fitness, but it's not. It's only a dead end if you make
for
a white snake.
itself. Yeah.
Sure, it's breeding Mojave to Mojave might be not the most desirable result, but like,
Genetically,
can you imagine
it's great.
putting?
Yeah.
Can you imagine spot nose GHI het puzzle to your girl,
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
dude? You know, like
Yeah.
what it could do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
There's so many
just-
other directions. Yeah. Even
GHI head or something like that, like just something that just
Dude,
to make something
GHI.
you just really don't expect. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do with the puzzle is I know that the average route for most people when they get a clown or puzzle or pied or a hypo or desert ghost, it seems to be OD, YB, fire is like the first three things people want to jack in, and I understand that because they produce consistently amazing results.
Right.
But I want to see stuff that's a little different. You know, I'm trying to just, I don't know, experiment with it. Not saying I'm not doing the ODYB fire stuff, but this year we put puzzle into a lot of different, just put it into special, put it into blackhead, put it into cypress, put it into, just random.
I'm
Dude,
putting it into
seriously.
Russo.
Yeah,
I'm putting it
Russo.
into
Russo.
Russo. Dude, for sure.
Russo is really cool.
It could, it's one of those low impacting morphs out there on its own. But every once in a while, exactly right. That's what I said. It'll touch some stuff, and it'll be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Without Russo in there, it wouldn't look that cool, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I threw it to my Sterling puzzle. So,
Hey,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
what we
that's
get.
cool. I know that Harrison has Phantom puzzles this year. He has a chance.
he's breeding a puzzle. I think he's breeding a puzzle to a phantom het.
Yeah,
So there's a chance there for some cool stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah.
I like Phantom, man. I really, really like Phantom. I've always been. It was one of the first snakes that we really spent money on.
hmm
Was a super fan yellow belly female from Ralph Davis.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Super Phantom
and that
Goblin.
snake- yes, the Goblin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those
that
are cool,
snake,
man.
That snake projected our one. in hindsight, it was a really good idea to get that girl because everybody started to say like, Mojave and Lesser and Butter, and Phantom kind of got left behind. And then now, when I see if I have Phantom on both ends, I'm not super worried because Super Phantoms are cool as hell.
They are, right.
If I have her on both sides, I'm always like, I don't really want to do that pairing. But if I have Phantom, I'm okay. Similar argument to like Vanilla Fire. I think Fire has more of an impact on both. Vanilla's a little softer, but
you get a super.
I'd rather have Vanilla on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because the super.
End of the pairing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I do. Super. I like that.
I agree with that, man. Paying attention to the supers, I think, is the next stage of where we're headed. You know, because we're already heading in like that double recessive market pretty strong and stuff like that. But now it's going to be double recessive supers. You know, hitting that kind of stuff. That's going to be cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you think Mystic and Phantom, they're the same thing, kind of like, you know, Lesser Mojave, or you think there's some differences?
I think so. I mean, we can get into this if you want. Genes that are the same.
All right, here we are. This is what we wanted.
This is what you want. Okay, Banana and Coral Glow, same thing. Butter and Lesser, same thing. Mystic and Phantom, same thing.
What about the other ghosts?
Yeah, same thing.
Wait, what was that?
Desert Ghost Enhancer.
Enhancer, Desert Ghost, same thing. I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 of each. And I mean, you guys can pick them out, and you're
killing it.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Paint and Sinnoh.
I don't know about Trick and Hurricane. I don't know. I mean, from my eye, they look very similar. I haven't seen a Super Trick. I have seen a Super Hurricane, so there's that to really.
True. Yeah,
and Blitz.
I don't know.
I think Blitz was involved.
You know, we bought Hurricanes. We didn't buy Trick. I really like the Trick, and I like what it can do. But as I've done more and more, just comparison between the genes, and I haven't really worked with either of them, so I really don't have a leg to stand on here. But just looking at either and combos they make, I'm just sort of like, oh, those are uncannily, you know?
Yeah.
I like the price point of Trick.
Yeah. Static confusion acid.
As a buyer. That's Hurricane, though. No. I don't know if they're different. I haven't seen Super Trick, so they're
and Blitz.
That's one thing.
Yeah, Blitz.
Yeah. What else?
The confusion stuff.
Static acid.
Exactly. Like Apex was saying.
Yeah, I think that's the exact same thing.
Sure.
Chocolate and Raven, I believe to be the same.
Oh, Chocolate and Raven. See, that's a sticking too. When I was checking out the Raven stuff, I brought up, two web pages and put them side by side, and hid the name and had Heather come and be like, "Are these snakes different?" She goes, "Well, yeah, they're different snakes." I'm like, "But different morph." And she goes, "I don't know. It kind of looks the same to me." I'm like, "All right, me too, right?" Like, I just wanted to get like a fresh pair of eyes because I had sat there for like 30 minutes. Like, are these the same?
Yeah. What's different about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's that?
The Super Raven looks like a Super Chocolate.
They look similar. Yeah, I feel like they look similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really interesting. That's kind of the fun of it too, figuring out some of this stuff as well. So.
I think Fire, Creed, Lucifer, all that stuff.
It's all
fire.
Yeah, I feel like all that's fire. Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
Sulfur, fire.
Sulfur.
Yeah. Yeah, sulfur, fire, that stuff. Just looking at my rack, see if I can think of anything else.
See, I'm
that's about it.
Monarch and Ultramel.
Well, rumor has it that they're not, right? They're not compatible like Caramel and Ultramel. So
Right.
Caramel and Ultramel are not compatible.
That's what I'm saying. They're not compatible like Monarch and no. So far, I don't think any of the T positives are compatible
with
like
each
Caramel,
other.
Ultramel, and Monarch. I don't. But I don't know.
one of the things that drew us in the beginning was the caramel albino, and unfortunately, it had its issues. It had the kinking and it had the female fertility issues. But to this day, caramel albinos make some of the prettiest snakes. The caramel glow was
awesome.
Unbelievable. That's the hypo caramel, and I was just like, holy. And then I think what ended up happening, one of the reasons we didn't go ultramel heavy is had a bit of a bad taste in our mouth from the caramel fiasco. So it was sort of one of those like, oh, it's just another caramel, like it was at the time. But looking back, I kind of regret that because ultramel makes some amazing, amazing animals. And I think Monarch is going to have that same sort of thing. Monarch seems to have a bit more of a burgundy kind of color to it.
Mm-hmm.
I again don't have any visual ultramels or any visual monarchs. So what I'm seeing is babies at shows. I haven't seen adults, put them side by side, both up, done the whole cycle.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
hard to.
I saw a side-by-side picture of an ultramel and a monarch. Both kind of looked like they were the same size. They were like, I don't know, like 300 grams maybe or something like that. And I could tell the difference between them, So I don't know. I think there's probably a little bit of a difference between them.
I bet, but man, you throw 10 of them together. I bet you 5 of each, mix them all up, and I mean, I think you're going to run into really good examples of ultramel, just like
really good
with
examples,
Monarch, right? Yeah, but I don't want to crap on anybody's project, right? But in all honesty, I think the more people that start working with the Monarch, you'll start seeing varying degrees of kind of quality pop out, because they may take that to, some 3 or 4 gene animal that they didn't really know what the quality of all of those 4 genes are, and all of a sudden we start getting examples that aren't quite as great as some of the stuff we've seen before.
Right.
And likewise, I
that
think,
makes sense.
yeah, and ultramel I think has the ability, like, to be really good looking, right? Like if you just bred it to a normal that was just the right coloring, and then you took those back and bred them, I think it would produce like a darker ultramel as well, right? If it came from a darker normal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think phenotypically we're seeing it. So
Monarch is going to struggle a little bit in the. I like Monarch. I do have every what am I the word I'm looking for? I'm getting it. I'm gonna get Monarch.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the Monarch route over the ultramel route myself. But I think it's going to be a hard sell to convince the average, or just not even the average, just any breeder or hobbyist or anything that this snake here, which is a Monarch, is worth, $2,000, and this ultramel is $300. That's going to be a tough sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it is, and that is a sort of a drawback to it. I think the only way that changes is if something big happens,
And the fact that they're compatible means that it's almost like, do I want to work 2 separate lines of a T positive? I'm not sure. Right. I don't think so. I mean, maybe if I had more space, more racks to do all that, maybe then I'd work with everything. But if the Monarch is tricky, because with ultramel so ingrained in collections already, it's tough to be like, it's like having a different line of hypo, where all of a sudden, I made that mistake. I had orange hypo, and then I bought some stuff from Gulf Coast Reptiles. We bought some vanilla hypo stuff. I bred them together, and I made double het hypos.
Right.
It was citrus hypo. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna try and make a double
visual,
double hypo.
Yeah,
double visual.
This is the most hypo.
Yeah. The hypoist.
The hypoist.
I haven't seen that. Ultramel albino.
Yeah. T positive, T negative albino came out really nice.
Really?
Ken Cage did them.
Who did it?
Ken made them.
Yeah. Ken from
Ken Gabriski.
Oh,
Ken Gabriski.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've seen that. That's kind of cool.
Albino.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures and I'll send to you guys. But
Yeah,
that's cool.
that would be
If you
interesting
like
to see.
like popping out, and then as they grew, there was like orange coming out of the yellow. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder what lavender would do if you get some.
So lavender monarch or lavender wolf, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I agree with you, Will. That's how I'm approaching the T positives. I don't have any of it yet, and like the caramel stuff kind of scared me back in the day. I didn't really want to worry about kinking and producing animals where I'm gonna have to put a lot down. Ultramel was supposed to be better, but then it it kind of was, but then people started learning you can't go visual to visual because you'll see kind of same results. So I kind of stayed away, and so I think I'm gonna jump in with Monarch though. Probably give it like another 6 months to a year, or I don't know. Maybe with the money I'm saving on my flight, I'll get a Monarch.
I know, right, dude?
Monarch.
Yeah. You can buy a Monarch in Tinley, man. There's gotta be one there.
You think that'll fly with Heather? Be like, babe, I saved $100 on the flight. I had to drop a couple grand. Come on.
It's simple economics.
The money's gone regardless.
Money's gone regardless, yeah. At least we got something for it. Jeez.
Yeah.
So we had a question come up earlier, kind of shifting gears out of the Monarch Ultramel stuff.
Yeah, you hating on everybody's projects. How about we change out of that real quick?
No, me. He was saying
all projects are good. What you do with them?
He was saying I was hating on him.
No, yeah, both of you, dude.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
so Cryptic. Somebody wanted to know how you're defining that recessive versus incomplete dom, and some explanation around it if you have it yet.
There's a bit of a debate going on in chat.
Okay, so yeah. Whew, where do we start? Okay, so the Cryptic, I've talked to. This isn't just my conclusion. This isn't. I had a very long conversation with Garrick DeMeyer, Daniel Movich up here in Canada, who's made a bunch of cryptics. June de Guzman, Mark Cole, Justin Santiago, bunch of guys who are making these cryptic animals, and every single time people are making them, almost every single time I'm seeing them, there's het clown or clown in the pairing. And so people were saying like, well, it's just popping up. My males can't be all het cryptic.
Right.
And so when you're seeing these cryptic het clowns, they're actually, and again, this is theory, it's not 100% proven, but I'm like 99% sure. So in what you're seeing is you're actually seeing the allelic combination between the two. Think of the cryptic het clowns that we're all seeing. Think of those as a Toffino.
Right.
So when you breed a pure cryptic, everything is going to be cryptic. Everything's going to be double het. And the double het expresses like the visual cryptic, like the homozygous cryptic.
Right.
So when you take, and the reason that I've been making them, and I've figured out how I've made them, my desert ghost female, my big girl, who I originally got from the Bells, she's 100% het cryptic. Now, when I put a clown to her, I'm getting half clutches of these cryptic animals. I'm like, what is going on? My clown is het cryptic. That was my first thought. There's gotta be. I mean, she's a het cryptic, so I'm hitting these cryptics. But I'm hitting the odds way too well for het to het.
Right.
I mean, is it possible? Yes. It's way more likely that it's a visual clown going to a het cryptic, and because you're hitting that allelic combination, think of that as breeding a super gravel to a yellow belly. You're going to hit half of them are going to be highways.
Highways, yeah, exactly.
And so that's what we're seeing. So now moving forwards, any animal that's cryptic that had clown or het clown in the pairing, I guarantee you is going to be het clown. I guarantee it. I shouldn't guarantee it, but like,
got really confident on that one. It was like, whoa.
I'm so confident that we have changed breedings around here to accommodate for that het clown gene in there.
Interesting.
So do you think this will be the year that'll really give you the evidence on this hypothesis?
100%.
Right. Okay.
I've already got enough evidence for myself to believe it. Other people maybe not, but my good buddy June de Guzman up in Winnipeg here, he bred a cryptic to a cryptic. Put them together. These were het cryptic, het clown to het cryptic, het clown. Put them together, not a single non-visual in the clutch. Why? Because it's an allelic combo to an allelic combo. Breed a Toffino to a Toffino. You're going to make Toffies, albinos, and Toffinos. That's it.
Right.
You're not making any normals. You're not making any, so when you breed these two of these allelic combos together, you're going to make clowns, homozygous cryptics, and then the allelic expression between the two. And I have my male here is an Orange Dream Desert Ghost, het cryptic, het clown. And so I'm breeding him to straight clowns. If it's allelic, I should not have anything that's not visual clown or cryptic in the clutch. And I'm like 3 or 4 clutches. I mean, that's pretty conclusive to me.
Yeah.
And and it's not just
how many
one
eggs
clutch that I'm looking. Yeah. What for this? The eggs aren't down, but so far from what I've seen from the other clutches, we're talking like 25 eggs, and it's still holding true.
That's a good sampling. Yeah.
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 So and then this year I should be able to add another 18 to 25 eggs myself to that sample.
Damn.
Yeah, I think this would be a big year then for it. To I feel like really be like, all right, dude, this is like pretty consistent. Like we're hitting it. We're hitting just like this. I think that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. So you're thinking this is a visual recessive allelic trait with the recessive clown.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts then on puzzle? Because I've seen some people say puzzle, like pos cryptics, stuff like that.
Not related. I hatched what I had thought was a cryptic puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I thought that was because it was out of the Desert Ghost puzzle clutch, and I had the cryptic floating around in the Desert Ghost stuff.
Okay.
Now, looking back on that, I don't think it is. And what that also means is you cannot make a cryptic clown. It's not possible. You can't make a toffee albino. Not possible. So because it's an allelic combo, you can't make an ivory asphalt. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
You're never going to hit it. So because it's an allelic combo, you're never going to see a cryptic clown. And sorry to say it, if you guys have them for sale, but if there are cryptic clowns for sale, I do not. This is my thoughts based on the research that I've done and talking to all these different guys. You can't make a cryptic clown.
So maybe in the expressive cryptic, like the cryptic het clown, are we maybe seeing the clown head? Do you kind of see that, or?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Definitely unique heads. They're very unique head stamps. They're like the wide eye stripes, the wide eye band, really thin eye stripe. And when you get other genes in the mix, you're getting really cool head stamps on them. But as far as I have seen, it's holding true with every single clutch. I've had people call me and be like, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense. How am I hatching these?" I'm like, "What's the?" And before they're even like telling me the pairing, I'm like, "Did you breed that to a pos het clown or a het clown?" They're like, "Oh yeah, no, it is a het clown." Huh.
Right.
But
right.
No one's saying to me, "Hey, I made a cryptic and my male was het genetic stripe." No one.
Right.
I've seen some that have popped out of Ultramel, but always with clown in the mix. Always with clown. So I'm guessing that Ultramel's het, and it's floating in that.
It's floating in there.
And it makes way more sense for one animal to be het than like 6 different males that they've put to it. And they keep making. I think it was Mark Cole. He had an Ultramel that he bred like a clown to, and he made cryptics. Right? They're double hets. They're they're triple hets actually. They're triple het clown Ultramel cryptics. It's just that the cryptic and clown, when expressed, when they're both in the same allele, right? So you can only have het cryptic or het clown. Het clown and het clown. Het cryptic and het cryptic, but you can't have het cryptic, and clown. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So
right.
Exactly. So when these animals these animals that all these people have made that are double het cryptic clowns. The nice part about those is they will never throw a normal. Every time you breed them, the entire clutch is going to be either het clown or het cryptic.
Right.
So here's
breeding
my
a
question. I'm gonna try to clear this thought process up for myself really quick. So if you took a visual clown and both were het cryptic, is that possible?
It can't be.
They can't be.
You can't have a visual clown.
So
be
you
het
can't
cryptic.
have, because they're acting on the same allele. They can't, just like the act like super combos, like yellow belly, gravel, all of those. Right. You get one or the other.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's interesting. That's crazy, man. Because everybody's saying it's attached to clown.
Yeah.
So that is
It's
kind of
not
the general consensus.
It's not attached to clown. It's allelic with clown. That's
Right.
the confusion there.
Right. So you
Yeah.
only get an expression with a het clown. You don't think you can have a visual just cryptic?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
Same way you can
okay.
have a visual clown.
Just clown.
Because
Okay.
you can have, on the allele, you can have like het cryptic and het cryptic. That together makes a homozygous cryptic.
Cryptic, right.
Then you can have het clown and het cryptic. Together makes a allelic expression.
Mhm.
And then you can have het clown and het clown. Together, that's a clown.
Clown, right.
Right. Have you talked with Jimmy and Jesse over at Freedom Breeder?
I actually haven't. I didn't get a chance to talk to them about the cryptic stuff.
Yeah, because Jimmy last year had an animal he had on his table labeled cryptic clown.
Yellow
Right.
belly, too.
Yellow belly it was a yellow belly cryptic clown. I mean, the clown looked crazy.
It looked wild, man. It did look
Looked
crazy.
super weird. So yeah, it'd be interesting pulling up with them, kind of sharing your data, and then kind of seeing what their data was to produce that animal.
I actually bought a cryptic clown, and I don't think it is. Now, here's the other thing. I don't know if we know 100% what a homozygous cryptic looks like.
Right.
Okay.
It may look very clownish.
Right. It would make a lot of sense.
Right.
And maybe what Jimmy has.
Maybe.
I don't know. That I've heard that the homozygous cryptic looks just like a double expression,
Mhm.
so that it's like it looks a lot like doesn't
Clown?
look like a clown. Is what
Right.
I'm hearing.
Looks like a whacked
I don't
out
have it.
clown or something. Right.
Yeah, not even clown. It looks almost like the double expression of the het cryptic and het clown.
Okay.
Again, this is all theory, but I'm so confident in that like we've literally changed a bunch of pairings to accommodate that extra het cryptic or that extra het clown.
Right.
I normally
right.
would never.
Yeah.
I'd normally do that.
Right. I'm excited to see more of it because, like, what was on Jimmy's table that blew me away. That was probably
Dude.
one of my favorite animals at Pomona.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
It
was crazy, man. That was a cool
Yeah,
scene.
that was a good animal. And the stuff you've produced that you've shared, I've been blown away. I was like, whoa, I like that, what that cryptic's doing. So yeah, I'm watching it, anticipating, man.
Yeah, I want you guys to figure it out more. And then I'll jump in.
Put your time and effort into it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, what really that I'm using? I'm not even. Maybe it's foolish. I'm not really trying to make homozygous cryptics. Maybe that's foolish of me to not do that. What I'm using is the het cryptic, or the when I get the visual expression, I'm using that as an identifier for het clown in all these double recessive and triple recessive projects. So when I make a desert ghost cryptic and there's clown in the pairing, I'm like, okay, I'm keeping that. That's going to be het clown. You know what I mean?
Right. I gotcha.
So
Interesting.
I'm using
yeah.
it as like
Using it as a tell.
an identifier
Right.
for the het clown, exactly.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Bod's out there said, cryptic to clown makes crown.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Funny.
For crown is Corona.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, nothing can now be named Corona. It's forever tainted.
It is. It is. COVID-19, man.
You know, all the memes, like scientists now have COVID-24,
Yeah.
COVID-25.
Yeah.
What will they think of next?
I wonder how much money Corona paid to get that name away.
Yeah, right. Somebody lobbied for that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the cryptic stuff, it's interesting. I'm confident for how it works, but the problem is that whenever I'm this confident, all it takes is one egg. We could have 30 eggs that are conclusive, and one egg just proves that whole thing.
Yep.
Right?
And
It can
Sends you
go
back
quick.
to the
Probably
drawing board. Yeah.
probably end up happening that way anyway. But
Yep, dude. That's
I've just got one boss heads in my right.
right. Perfect. Glad that worked.
Yeah,
Shane from.
but no, I'm yeah, man.
I was shifting gears. I was just gonna say, Shane from Small Town wanted to know what you're doing with the extreme gene. If you have any projects with
After
that,
bought video, that changes a lot.
right?
Turns out extreme and extremist are two separate genes, according to Ken. And after I watched that video, I actually called Ken. I had bought extreme in like 2011. You don't even want to know what we paid for it and what it's worth now. And I did nothing with it, like nothing. It was one of those genes. We grabbed it and I bred it into a few females and I made some stuff and I raised them up, but nothing. I was like, I didn't really advance the project at all. I didn't figure anything out. It sort of, those were cool. And my own fault. I didn't explore enough with the gene. And recently, so back in like 2012 or 2013, we actually hatched an extreme fire. And we had an action extreme fire, and I was like, man, this thing looked awesome. It was so cool, so pretty. And I ended up selling that. And this year we were sort of like, man, was that a fluke? The guy we sold to just like disappeared off the face of the earth. Never heard from him again.
Right.
Tried to reach out to him again. Never heard. And I was like, man, was that a fluke? I was actually scrolling through my Instagram and found that picture from way back then. And I was sort of like, damn, like, was it a fluke that we had made that? Or is that what the extreme fire actually looks like? So this year I bred our butter super extreme to a super fire. And that's what they look like.
Nice.
But I talked to Ken, and Ken seems to think that our male actually is carrying the extremist gene. And that is why we're seeing these super expressive extreme fires. They're actually extremist fires, and they fall right in line with what his extremist stuff looks like. And so after talking to Ken for a little bit, he's like, I think you got it. Then I started showing him all the stuff that we had hatched in the last 6-7 years, and he's like, is that a super extreme? Or is that an extremist? And I'm starting to sit there, I'm like, wait a second, aren't extremists het tri-stripe? He's like, yeah. I was like, what am I doing? Is it? I could be sitting on like an OD yellow belly het tri-stripe breeder female
Right.
for like 4 years. What?
Dude,
Hey,
Why
what
haven't I done anything? So we didn't change pairings based on that information, but it will affect things moving in the future. And you actually have extreme too now.
Yeah.
You like it?
Awesome. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I saw he's bringing the fire extreme to the show, and that's I'm actually thinking of picking that up. It's actually pretty nice.
I have one here. Here, you talk.
Oh,
I'll
nice.
grab it.
Yeah, grab it.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Khalil, how you doing?
So Joel, friendly or what?
What did you say to me?
Why aren't you?
Joel getting all crazy.
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I'm not sure. Where's the camera? This thing?
Right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's a fire extreme. Well, Ken seems to believe that this is the extremist. Gives it like a full perfect stripe on it. Really like gives you that dripping,
Right.
dripping.
That looks cool.
right?
Yeah, I like that.
They've always explained that it almost looks like melting paint.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Totally.
like dripping down the side of the animal.
Right.
And after I watched that video, I was like, wow, that is oddly familiar with his extremist stuff. I went back and started looking at this and was like, oh, okay. Then we started talking about it. He thinks we've got it as well. So
interesting. So, all right. So, yeah. Well, Python Project pointed this out. So extremist stuff, and forgive me, I haven't watched Bod's video yet. It's on my to-do list, though. So extremist stuff is all het tri-stripe?
Is that what you were saying?
Extremist.
Yeah,
extremist.
Uh-huh.
Extremist is the expressive het for what I think Ken's going to change the super extremist name to the KMR, Ken Magic Reptiles Tri-Stripe, and we'll go from there. We'll label it as the KMR Tri.
So and he's thinking it's a different line of Tri-Stripe with an expressive het.
Basically, yeah.
Interesting.
We don't have no idea if it's compatible. No clue. I mean, I could find out pretty quickly. Read a Tri-Stripe to my extremist stuff and go from there. But
it would happen.
Even the just the extreme on its own is a really, really massive brightener in snakes. Like it brightens more than you'd think. When you see the base version, you're like, you know how when you sort of see a base version fire, you can tell this snake's gonna brighten stuff. It just has that like undertone to it, just brighter.
Right.
And the extreme doesn't really have that. And then the second you combo it, the stuff it comes and it stays through adulthood. Really, really, really nice. It's borderline 50% as good as Desert Ghost.
Nice. Yeah, that's what sold me back in the day when Ken was putting that stuff on BLBC. What happened?
That math just now, borderline 50% is good. so it's almost half as good.
Yeah.
It's almost half as good as Desert. Okay, yeah, right. Got it. Anyway.
Yeah, but back in the day on BLBC forums, Ken was posting, extreme stuff, extremist stuff, and that's what sold me really was the brightness of the animals. Is he would show some older animals that, like the yellows, looked amazing, and yeah, that's what sold me on that project too. So cool, huh?
That's So let's get a quick like clip note of what was just said. You think that the extreme and extremists are not. You think that the extreme and extremists are different genes, correct?
Correct.
And the extremist has what is now called the super extremist, which is soon to be relabeled as tri-stripe, possibly.
Ken Masek.
Yeah, which
Tri-Stripe.
Which has
that was
not.
Our conversation.
Okay, so that has not been proven to be compatible with the actual tri-stripe. It's still technically a super extremist, but it does look similar. It does look similar to a tri-stripe.
It gives us the tri-stripe look.
It does. Right. Yeah, it does. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to try to clear that up because I feel like we're kind of crushing through that, and they're literally the almost same exact names, and then tri-stripe got thrown in, and I feel like everybody was like, wait a second, what just happened? So
originally, Ken had thought that it was sort of like the OD and the high OD, that he's been keeping back his nice extremes, and then bang, popping out these super nice extremes.
Right.
And he was calling those extremists. But in reality, it was a different gene that he was actually producing. And that was the whole confusion behind it.
Got it. Right. Okay.
Not confusion, the gene. Sorry.
Not also that.
No. We can't even have conversations anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude. God, I know.
But yeah, because that's what I last remembered before like Bod put out the other video and I'd kind of seen some information. I remember when Ken was first initially trying to describe it, that's what it was, you had extreme and then you had extremist, and that was compared to like OD and high intensity OD. But now that's completely changed and we've learned that they're separate. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, Joseph, we're giving out math homework tonight. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We expect all your answers down below after this live stream goes off, no later than next week. So,
right? I fight
Yeah.
change. There's only one tri-stripe.
I
mean, he could keep it super extremist, whatever.
He technically could, yeah.
Ah.
Right. Yeah,
that's so much. No.
What do you mean?
Not
So
cheating. I mean, okay, so I think we should, as an industry, really work to like label stuff properly to avoid all of this. I know all these guys want to have like their name attached to something. I understand that, and that's okay for lines. But I think calling it keeping it as the super extremist, what ends up happening is people are looking at so someone comes into the hobby in the next 2 or 3 years, and they're looking online. They see like, oh, I really love that Orange Dream tri-stripe, and then they go scrolling through Morph Market, and they hit super extremist, and like, oh, I really like that Orange Dream super extremist. Why do they look the exact same? You know, it gives it when stuff looks so similar and has separate names, or it's not.
Yeah.
What we should really do is work to prove them out.
That's what I was going to say. If they're compatible, then I agree with the name change, right? If they're not compatible, then I think it adds to the confusion, right?
It does.
Because let's say they're not compatible, right? And then you're looking through,
But or do you just label it as a KMR tri, like sort of like the different lines of Xanthic?
so Xanthic still confuses people, and you get people that buy a VPI, and then they just go into the Xanthic section, before, and would buy a TSK. And they're like, but I got 2 Xanthics. You're like, yeah, but you didn't buy the right lines. And they're like, oh, well, screw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I could see it.
I can't hate on them because I did that with Hypo. So
right? That's what I'm saying. Hypo's another great example,
But
so.
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean. But what do you think? You think
I think there's a middle ground between what you're saying and what's going on, because do we have acid, confusion, and static? Dude, they're all the same. Why do we have to have 3 names for it? We have Coral Glow and we have Banana. Why? Why are we doing that? But like things like that, I can understand some differences between incompatible lines and compatible lines and stuff like that. But these like incomplete DOMs and stuff like that, they're literally doing the same thing. I think that adds to a lot of confusion.
Oh, 100% it does.
Yeah.
Like there was so much. This is kind of a pun on words. There was so much confusion over the confusion static acid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like not the same as it will, and I don't know. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and walks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck.
Right. No, I hear you. Quack, quack,
Yeah, like Phil Snyder, he said, it will strengthen the market to clarify the genetic code, in quotes, we all use, and no, it's a bit sloppy at the moment. And I do agree, we need to tighten it up, right? And there needs to be some compromise and some egos that need to be kind of settled, right? And we need to clarify certain things like Coral Glow, Banana, the incomplete dominant genes that we have proof. When you breed together, they make a super together. That's the same, right? With the recessive stuff, when we have different things that are not compatible, I think it's very imperative to make sure that the names are different enough, or at least are like known enough where people know right at the get-go they're not compatible, right? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So that way, I think it helps, new people come in, not feel like, oh, holy crap, I need to go out and memorize 1,000 different morphs, dude, and then figure out there's stuff that's compatible and not with each other. Like that's a lot, But I don't know. Right. That's just my 2 cents. So.
Yeah, I get it. I totally understand that. It's hard because at the end of the day, we have no control over what somebody decides to name anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I love freedom, man. So it's
there is that. Yeah, there is that.
Do what you want.
Another thing I think that we should start doing as a community, as breeders, is starting to. So I don't know if anyone would do this or not, but for example, when we hatch babies. We come up with like a standardized code for how we label our babies. And so basically, clutch 1 of the year is going to be RCR. So it's going to be RCR 20-01-01. And that means it's RCR 2020 baby, clutch number 1, baby number 1. That way, that ID goes with its snake that whole life. And people can always reference back and back and back and back. And you can start to, because as we start to do these triples and doubles and all this stuff, and there's 66% hets flying all over the place, there's going to be stuff popping up everywhere in the next 5 years. And if we all agree as breeders, you do 514-20-01-04, I instantly know that's 514 Reptiles 2020 season, clutch number 1, baby number 4. And if I have a question about that, I can reach out to 514, or I can reach out to State 48 or Beach Bum, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Whereas
yeah.
instead we're like, sell it, and then exactly like the green tree the green tree pythons do it. And I think we start to focus much more on like lineage of the snakes and the quality of the genetics than just the genetic being present.
Right.
You know,
I completely agree.
I think that is where we go. We start to break down family trees of this specific animal. Like, this animal came from this original stock, and it's like that was so I don't know, the flatline ball python that Ralph Davis made. You have snakes out of that family tree. It's like there could be something special going on with those, even though they look normal. There could be something in there, and when it pops up, it's not as big of a, oh my God, you understand why it's popped up. Not just, what's going on? And then you're wasting the next 5 years trying to figure that out again, when if you already had the information prior, you could be like, oh, okay, this is making way more sense. But we have to do it as a community as a whole, or it doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, something kind of like, the AKC or the UKC type of thing, right? Yeah. We need like either a voted in panel that then comes out with some standards, right? And that panel kind of speaks for the large community at that point. And then the community adopts those standards. And I like the idea of actually naming, your stock. So every breeder that wants to have an animal that can be tracked through a family tree like that registers with said organization. You get back your breeder code, BBX for me. Or if there's already a BBX, maybe I have to change that to something else, right? But I'm issued...
It's a generic code, right?
Yeah, I'm issued a breeder code, and then I tag all my animals with my breeder code, -year, -clutch number, animal number, whatever, right? I think that would be great. I think that would help the industry, and I think it would help establish pricing, right? Because
100%, yeah.
Right, because right now there's not really, anybody that gets a snake can literally call that snake what it is, sell it on Craigslist or something, and somebody could pay however much money they want, and then turn around and think like, well, shoot, I can now breed this and get this much money too. But everybody that kind of sees that snake's gonna be like, wait, who did you get it from? Like, why are you charging so much? This looks like a Mojave. Like, this, you didn't buy anything special, man. Like, where'd you get that from? Like, and then it starts all this whole thing over. Whereas if we kind of had those guidelines, we could just say, well, you didn't buy that from a reptile registered breeder, so you can't really sell it for like, because we don't know the lineage of that animal, man. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Yeah, it is similar to dogs, though. Like that.
Similar. Right.
It made that commonplace. It avoids, hopefully, it won't avoid it, but it will limit the amount of people that get screwed over saying, yeah, this is a Mojave het puzzle, and there's no puzzle in that.
Right. Right. Yep.
On Craigslist, but it's like if somebody, so for example, if I sold a Mojave het puzzle and I labeled it RCR-0304, and somebody called me like, hey, I have animal RCR-04 whatever, like, is this het puzzle? And I can go back and be like, that's a 66% het. So it could be, but it's not necessarily, you know. Or I can say,
Right.
nope, that's 100%. Or no, there's no puzzle in that snake for 3 generations prior.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think that would strengthen our community quite. It would bring some legitimacy to what we're kind of
Right.
doing instead of all of us,
Yeah.
playing with our snakes.
Bring this into the common light and into much more mainstream. And there's
Right.
guys doing that. You know,
Yeah.
Miguel's doing an amazing job of that. Brian's always doing that sort of stuff. That's sort of his bread and butter now. Is the YouTube channel, and it's if we can bring some sort of some sort of structure to the industry, that's a huge benefit, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
there
think so,
still
too.
can be people out there too, as with like dog breeding and stuff like that. Like, dude, there's a difference between an AKC registered Great Dane and a Great Dane that's just off Craigslist, as far as price
Exactly.
goes. Dude, as far as price goes and as far as what you're getting so much more out of an AKC registered dog than you are off of like Craigslist or something like that, because you can track the genetics just like that. Especially
Yep.
for breeds that
Yeah.
have issues. It's nice to know where their tree's at.
Yes.
So I definitely agree that's something that would be really cool to do. I think it would be a mountain of work to get it to be done, but I think you would just need the top probably 20, maybe 25 breeders in the country to do it, and then I think everybody will follow suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we already have things that we vote on as a community, through
Right.
the Reptile Report, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of community participation. I don't think it would be too hard to get the community pulled into something, and we start like an international council of some sort.
Right.
You know what I mean? We almost
NATO,
have to.
dude. We're gonna be NATO.
You know what I mean? But we almost have to, because this is international now. You know what I'm saying? Representation from all over the world breeding cool snakes, and so I don't know. I think
Big task.
yeah, big task, but I think the more and more we talk about it, I think maybe some smarter people will jump into the equation. I'd be like, I know how to do that.
Right.
I do not want to do it, but I'm not doing it, actually.
I think the guys
But I
at
hope
Morph
someone's
Market could probably pull something like that off.
John Lehman.
Right? That would be an amazing platform to start it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I feel like that could
Start
be
the breeder
great.
and start and that way it becomes like so if I buy an animal from Khalil, instead of just and what it also does is it sort of limits the flipping. It sort of limits I buy it for cheap and I flip it somewhere else. It does put a limit on that. It's not that that's wrong, but I think that the breeder who produced it should be getting credit. And that stops me from buying up your, I don't know, whatever you produce, blackhead Enchi, and buying it and then saying yeah, this is from RCR Blackhead Enchi, and I sell it. I would sell it as 514-01-03. I had bought this animal from 514. It no longer fits my plans. I'm moving on from it. It just gives.
I think there's a lot of breeders that don't have a database of what they breed, right? So
Right.
That's
they just
scary.
make and they sell it. They make snakes, they sell them. There's nothing
Yeah.
going into their computer, previous clutches, previous years, what was laid, what was in them. So you're gonna have to get those people, because there's a lot of old school guys that are, still writing stuff by hand.
I don't log anything. So I'm terrible at this.
You're part of the
terrible.
problem, Joel.
I know. I've had 6 clutches. I know
Just
what's
what?
done. So I don't log anything yet.
I mean,
At some point you'll forget it.
it starts that way.
Right,
It starts that
right.
way. I could not keep track if I didn't. I have to
Right.
document.
And so
I have to document it.
I think it's definitely a difficult task, and like Sick was saying, the database would have to be huge, to be able to pull something like that off. And there's definitely some there's some mountains, obviously. There's some stuff there. Nick from Renown was talking about fees. Wouldn't the fees raise prices and make the byproduct of what you're shooting for harder to sell? Like a normal is $20 with a $200 fee. Are I don't know what the fee is.
He's talking like if you register an animal with
register
the
it.
AKC,
Got
right?
it.
There's a fee that goes
There's
to
a fee.
AKC. I mean, we don't
Right.
have to model it exactly after the AKC.
That makes sense.
You know,
I was
And,
confused. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, because a registration fee, let's say, for whatever, blah, blah.
or whatever, right? And you know, and maybe, yeah, I think it's a work in progress, but I think that it's a cool topic to kind of keep throwing out there, seeing if some cool ideas kind of come back from the conversation, writing those down, and then as time goes, you'll have enough of an idea maybe put together that somebody that knows how to organize something like this would be able to be like, okay, your idea makes sense. We could do that.
Right,
You know?
right. Dude,
Right.
you could chip all the snakes, like Bod was saying. All you need is a scanner. Scan over, just like dogs, stuff like that. My bird has a chip.
What was that, Will?
Take a lot less, right?
I feel like
they're-
the chondro guys already do this bloodline tracking and all that.
Well,
It's coming from blue phase to like a
yeah, but they're just
yellow-
doing it by breeder, and fortunately, right, they've done a good job at tracking it. But there's not really a central database that I could go reference right now that would have every condo produced with the breeder that did it and all that. I still have to know who that breeder is, make contact with them, and be like, hey, apparently I have this animal. Is that correct? And then they could look back and be like, oh, yeah, actually, that's, I mean, and that's maybe a starting ground of us, is that we start trying to practice better record keeping, get a uniformed way of doing it, right? And not necessarily going as far as an organization, but just at the beginning levels of us just organizing ourselves better.
Right.
And making it kind of like a uniform thing where, like, when I sell an animal, it's automatic. I give a little sheet to that person that goes, hey, here's my info, here's the animal info. This is what that code means. If you ever sell this animal, pass this along to whoever you sell it to. And if they ever have questions from me, all they have to give me is that number there. And then I can tell them, yeah, confirmed it's from this clutch and this clutch.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of a cool idea too. Take it upon yourself to just kind of do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's 7:27 already. Ooh.
Yeah. We're running.
What was that, Will?
Even these big producers, how many snakes are they producing a year?
Shoot.
1,000? 2,000?
Yeah, I think Garrick said, 1,500 plus. He was at, I think, in one of the videos I heard. So
1,500 snakes is like, I would assume Garrick is keeping track of the clutches that they come from and all that sort of thing. Especially at that size, it's really hard not to.
Right.
And you just assign an ID number per year, starting with the year. This is 200101, 200202, 2055, 63,
Right.
And as long as you keep it in like a Google Doc or something like that, you can just, if somebody gives you that number, I can just open my Google Docs and just go 2019-64 and hit enter, and it just goes, brrr, oh, that's a Desert Ghost puzzle. Okay.
Right.
Not that I'd ever sell that, but
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Joel.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's a cool idea. And I think, again, just something to kind of work towards. I try and improve my record keeping to make it easier for myself as well.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys keep track of like when they eat, the meals,
No.
the sheds, the
Gosh,
poops?
no.
I keep
I'm
track
not
of
that-
none
I'm not
of
that guy. I'm not
other
that
than
guy.
Ovulation, and I keep track of locks. I keep track of ovulations. Keep track of when they laid, when they hatched, and then start over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
That's I do keep track of that stuff. I keep track of locks, stuff like that. But
100% I keep track of like the pairing information. You know what I mean? If I just plop a male, even if I don't see a lock, I will document that for myself just so I
Right.
know that male was in that tub.
Yes.
And as far as feeding goes, when I had less snakes, I was better at kind of keeping track of like, all right,
Yeah.
I have Reptiscan, and I would go hit my racks and document who ate, who didn't, you know. But at the amount of snakes that I have now, I find that the documentation process for feeding takes almost as long as feeding sometimes. Like, you know,
I couldn't do that for this size collection. No way.
yeah.
Nope.
No. So, I mean, I use some visual markers for feeding. Like for example, like if I have a female, she didn't eat, and I'm kind of looking at her, and I'm like, you know what? I think last week I remember you not eating also. I'll plop like a red clippy up there. And so that way next week feeding, if that same animal doesn't eat again, they kind of go on like a more monitored watch, right? Where I'm just like, all right, got to make sure you're not going to lose weight on me. Yeah, kind of how long this is going type of thing. But that's about as intense as I get.
I got a box.
Yeah.
Clothespins.
Yep.
And they clip onto the bins perfectly. And it's an instant like visual cue, like check this. There's something up about that bin. You know?
Right.
Generally, it's when I feed a rack at a time. I'll feed like this entire wall, and then I'll wait. If it doesn't eat, pull the stuff it doesn't eat, goes into this. But if some of these are looking like they're gonna eat, or they're having a second, or something like that, if there's a rat, it goes in there. So the last thing you want is chews or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Nasty.
Yeah, I used to close the pins as well. I've got like assortment of different colors, right? You know, like red means there's still a rat in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that way too, I don't lose track, because I don't necessarily just feed right down the rack, you know, one on top. Like when I'm grabbing rats, I'm kind of like, oh, this is a really big rat. Oh, I know she loves huge rats. Boom, toss it in over there. Pop the pin. You know, I'm kind of all over the place.
Yep.
I do it the opposite way of that. I open the snake's bin and I just give it a look. I'm like, okay, and then I look down at my bin of rats, and they're like, you're perfect. And,
right.
And then the next, you're perfect. And instead of taking the rat and then running around the room finding a snake for it.
Oh, that's probably a smarter way. Well, I don't have as many as you do, though. I could do all of mine standing almost in one place. So.
Sure.
Right.
I just tend to do like, I start on that rat, I work my way to that, then I go to the other side of the room, and I work my way back this way.
Right.
There you
go. Once you have a system, though, it's so hard to break it, I find.
Yeah.
Like, once you're set in your ways, I like, if somebody came in here or like start fucking with me while I was feeding, I'd like lose it. Like, stop, you're fucking me up, you know?
Right,
like, I don't know what's... We started like feeding this wall first. They'd be like, no, like my OCD kicking hard.
Right, right. I like it. I like it. I don't have that. Maybe I need to go get some safety or some clothespins to step my game up. Breeder secret. Dude, breeder secret. Didn't know it.
They work really well.
Yeah.
They work really well. I know some guys do the magnet. They turn the magnet sideways or upside down or...
Yeah. Yeah. Billy does the magnet.
I do. So if there's a rat in there, I'll move the magnet
sideways.
Magnets? And then if I didn't feed for some reason or they're in shed, I'll put it straight, like, I guess, vertical, right?
Okay, so if you didn't feed, it's like sticking straight up?
If I didn't feed or, like, it's in shed or whatever, I didn't give it any rats, I put it that way. And then if it didn't eat, I put it upside down.
Okay, so when you go in the next following week to feed, you can, like, quick glance, that didn't eat, that didn't eat.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't feed for some reason, and then, so I don't leave rats in there. Everything that's sideways, I go back at night, then I check. If the rat's gone, then it's good, I put it back. Okay. Yeah, so now I know what I didn't feed and what isn't eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually
a pretty good way.
Yeah, I like that.
And I move the magnet.
Because I can't see, unless you move the magnet from the male to the female?
Yeah.
When you're pairing?
Yeah. I take the male and I take the
So I just do like each of my males have a clip.
Right.
And then when that male goes to the female, his clip goes with him. And it just goes click onto her bin, and I can glance and see like there's a male in whichever.
That's smart, because then at one point you need to remember where that male was. I'm not that big yet. I have like.
Yeah, I have clips for my males too, just like that, with a card in it, and then everywhere the male goes, the clip follows.
Clip follows exactly. Yeah. We actually went as far as doing like an index for the snakes. So like starting on this wall here. That's column A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and then it goes all the way to R. and it's labeled 1 through 10. And then on my breeding list, which if I grab a breeding list, I can look at this. I can look at this first breeding list right off the bat and go like, okay, Desert Ghost Clown is breeding a Fire Hat Clown. She's at M7. And I grab Desert Ghost Clown. I know my males, I only have 40, so I grab my Desert Ghost Clown. Look, M7. Not that I'm big enough where I don't know where the snakes are, but sometimes I'm like, she's in here somewhere.
Right.
Oh, there she is, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that's helped me a little bit. It's also helped Dad, especially if I'm not here and he's going to pair up some stuff. He can just be like, oh, M7, and he just literally has to just follow to M7. There she is.
Right.
So
Right.
it stops
I like
him running
that.
around.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. Dude, convenience, man. Building your life around convenience is so important. Because it doesn't let you burn out. Like, it just streamlines everything. It's efficient. You're not annoyed. You're not wasting time.
I'm not sure if you guys can see. We've put the. Can you see that rack? Can you see all the little numbers on it?
Yes.
All the little numbers on the bins.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So those numbers correspond to the male's number. Each male has a number. So when I'm putting the male in, I can see that GHI Het Puzzle is number 9. And if I'm putting him in, it's like, and it says 16 on the bin, something's going on. Right. He goes in, females that he's breeding have number 9 on their bin. And that way it's just an extra level of security, especially with these double het to double het and crazy pairings like that. You end up, if you misbreed them, like, what do you have? I have no idea.
Right. That makes sense.
You know, what if you breed what if I bred a Desert Ghost Clown to a double het DG Pied by accident?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Desert Ghost, I guess I know they're het clown because of the male, but what if I bred double het DG Clown to double het DG Pied?
Right.
And I'm like, I hit a Desert Ghost, and I'm like, oh, it's 66% het clown. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
50% het clown.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's the stuff that I'm trying to be really careful with. And that's why I know that my record keeping is going to have to take a step up once the group increases, just because of the double recessive stuff, and getting your 50% and your 66% and just making sure all that stuff is right. That takes a decent amount of record keeping when you start doing, especially the size you're at, you got to
I know a guy who was cleaning, and he put a banana double het clown pied in with the banana het pied. And then was like, oh. And they moved around. They were hatchlings, and they moved around. He was like,
oops.
Well.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whoops.
What happens now?
Which one?
Right.
That's
how do you yeah, exactly. Everything that's not visual what you want just gets wholesaled,
Yep.
It's one of those things where it's like, and imagine doing that with like babies like that, and now it's like, do I keep them both? Like, now I keep them both. I was going to sell the het pie. I was going to keep double het clown pie. Now I got to keep them both. I raised them up, and I still get it wrong because I bred the wrong males. Or I have to breed a clown pie basically to each one of them to tell me which one's which.
Stupid sucks, dude. Trust me. Yeah, it'll get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough, man. So.
Exactly.
Quote of the day right there. If you're gonna be dumb, you've got to be tough.
I'm fairly tough because I'm not very smart. So.
You ride motocross. You got to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little dumb. Yeah. Took some injuries. That's for sure. But yeah, dude, that's a quote I've lived my life by. If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
Exactly.
I love
it. All right, guys. Yeah. I don't want to keep people too long. I know it's laid out by you guys. Getting excited about Tinley.
Yep.
Yes.
You want to do a fire round, or
we could. I remembered the lightning round questions.
Awesome.
Yeah, so these are off the top of my head. Well, I remembered all but one, but we'll start with the lightning round. You ready for this?
These are off the top of my head as he's reading them.
Yeah, well, no, I was writing them while we were doing it. They're off the top of my head during this conversation.
Okay.
So if I was giving myself an out in case I screwed this up. All right. If anybody's like really watching, it's like, no, that was the wrong lightning round question. I don't want to get called out on that. All right. I'm sensitive. Okay. I'm tough, but I'm sensitive. Anyways, so spirit animal. What would your spirit animal be?
Like a sloth or something like that. Super chill. Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect. That was just perfect.
Maybe like a panda or like something like that. Just feel like dopey animal, you know?
Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay, so travel back in time. When would you travel back into time?
70s.
70s. 1970s? 1870s? 1070s?
1970s.
1970s? Okay.
1970s.
For the disco shoes?
Medievals, yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like I know I'd get fucked up really quick, but like the Jurassic period would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could dip in and dip out real quick.
Yeah, dip in and out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no way.
I died.
No, we couldn't live in that.
If
Not
I'm
long.
stuck-
Could you actually imagine seeing a dinosaur, like a T-Rex? How, like I see like a Nile monitor. I'm like, oh, that thing's huge. And it's like a T-Rex. Like, what? That
Dude.
blows my mind.
Dude.
I would feel like our rodents do when they're plopped into a cage. I'd just be running everywhere.
Oh, that was so brutal. Okay, on to cartoon characters. What cartoon character would you be?
Like Elmer Fudd or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I should have saw that coming. 3 words to describe yourself as a teenager.
Dumb, tough, stupid. Yeah.
Nailing them.
Yeah.
All right.
Lots.
Okay, so last question. This is the one I improvised a little bit. Are you a left or right Twix kind of guy?
What?
What's the Twix?
Twix
The
candy
candy
bar.
bar.
Left or right Twix?
Which one do you eat first? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Marketing is, are you left or right?
Yeah,
Because,
their
like,
whole
there's two
marketing
facts to it.
scheme.
It's-
All right, sorry, dude. It blew up, okay? Are you a left or a right guy? I need to know.
Left, okay.
Well, the other one I had was best breeder in the business. So those are what I tried to come up with.
514.
I got a good one. If you were an ice cream flavor, what would you be?
There we go.
Vanilla bean?
Yeah. Vanilla bean with like chunks of real vanilla in it.
Oh, you fancy. Dude, you a fancy vanilla bean.
Fancy. Vanilla.
You're like a Briars. Dude, wow. Okay. Nice. Okay. That's it. Really. I mean, we already know the button gene, right? We had you
Zipper.
before. Yeah, we had you before. It just hasn't converted.
I was button before. I actually have both. So I'm not like
You're hybrid.
I don't hate.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I like it. You're your spirit animal, dude. You're just
Way to
chilling.
be Canadian. Right down the middle, Will.
Right, dude. Yeah. I love it.
Hey, well, wear buttons. I don't care.
Oh, man.
But I keep hearing these people be like, "Oh, you have the buttons. How are you gonna get?" Bro, the buttons, you just grab the top tab and pull, and it goes like.
Yeah, they're easy. Yeah, they're easy to get.
Actually, zippers are more of a pain in the ass than buttons, but
I don't button up my buttons. I just leave them open.
See, there you go. Easiest way.
Access.
So reason number 2, TSA won't let Khalil into America.
Oh boy.
so if I'm not at Tinley, it's his fault.
Right.
Hey, they just canceled the rest of the season.
No, it hasn't.
They just canceled it.
No, they didn't.
I swear to God.
I don't believe you.
What
I
happened?
swear.
They canceled the NBA the rest of the season?
Yeah.
They're not canceling the NBA.
And Trump banned all flights from Europe to the US.
They didn't cancel the NBA.
Yeah.
What about the Raptors? Well, there's only no team for them to play, I guess. Well, looks like the Raptors are the repeat champions.
Whammy. By default.
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking about
I don't
having a fan ban at the game, so it'd just be some dudes playing basketball, and we watch it on TV, I guess.
Yeah, they've already done that with some soccer stadiums overseas. Actually, super weird to watch the game.
I bet you.
Twix does confuse
For that
Canadians. They don't know how to pick a side. That's their problem.
I brought for anyone going to Tinley. If you didn't know, ketchup chips are a staple up here.
Right.
They're chips flavored like ketchup.
That's disgusting.
He makes a funny face. He was smashing bags of them earlier today. They're free, complimentary bag. Stop by the table. They're yours.
Yeah,
Get a free bag.
Dude, I regret that I'm not going just to try one of those. That just sounds so bad. But I like ketchup and French fries, so I don't know. It is a potato, right?
It's a little greasy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
It's really not that bad. Like, what do you like on French fries? Like salt and ketchup? Like,
yeah, it's same thing. Except this is like fake ketchup, like dried out ketchup sprinkled onto a fried potato chip. Just, you know.
Mm-mm.
Well, like at a picnic
bad,
or barbecue.
call.
I've had ketchup on my potato chips, dude. It's crossed into that realm before. It's good.
I love Adam. He's down to anything.
Yeah, done it.
Joel, so what do you...
What?
Are you going to have
want?
massive FOMO this week?
I'm going to have some FOMO, for sure. I'm pretty bummed I'm not going. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I haven't seen anybody in forever, I feel like. March.
No,
Anaheim.
Yes.
Anaheim.
When is it?
There you go.
When is it?
Anaheim's January. Oh,
Yeah.
we
That
have
was
one in.
last show I went to.
Yeah, that was the last show that he went to, and then there's the June one.
There's August Pomona? Or is
There's
it
August.
July, I think.
August.
August?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to skip Pomona in August, do Daytona, then do Arlington, October Tinley, January Pomona.
There you go.
Yeah, Anaheim.
Kind of what I'm thinking for the trip schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, man,
Sounds about right.
I feel like we're running in that hour and a half mark. We're trying to be aware of everybody's time and your time as well. But I want to say thanks for coming on, dude. This has been fun. I feel like
Thanks
been
for having us on.
and anybody else that's still here, we originally interviewed Will on our other channel, so more of his like background and stuff like that you can be found over there. But this was kind of more of a two-topic kind of chat, and I think it was pretty cool, man. I feel like we touched on some in-depth stuff that I've never talked about on here, so appreciate that.
Yeah, it was fun getting into the morphs.
Yeah, man. For sure. We'll see you, everybody who's watching. We'll see you guys at Tinley.
Yep.
Adam, we'll see you at Tinley.
Yeah. How can people get a hold of you, man?
You can hit me up on Instagram, Royal King Reptiles. I dabble in YouTube, Facebook, our website, royalkingreptiles.ca, or you can just stop by Tinley.
Yeah. Okay, man.
Awesome.
That sounds like a great time.
My cell phone number out. Yeah.
Yeah, put that in chat. I'll put it across the screen.
The number you have reached is not in service.
Yeah.
Khalil, good seeing you too, my friend.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on here, I suppose.
I'm the most active on Instagram, but
Yeah. Definitely, because it's the best. Okay. Anyways, well, thanks so much, guys. Thank you much, chat, for joining in. We really appreciate having you guys in here every week in, week out. You all make it possible. So thank you so much. And
I want to give a quick shout out to Miguel, Harry, Byram, Byros, and Jared, Khalil, Mike, and Manny.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it. I want to give a quick shout out to Adam.
Yeah, and of course, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll
guys.
we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night, man.
Later.
See ya.
See ya.